Welcome back. This is Ravens Bullis for another Battletech embers. So I'm going to start off with, this is the latest book that I read was Embers of War. It takes place in the year 3067. Yeah, got nice neighbors, huh? It says, what price honor? For heirs of pain and stealthy tiger mercenaries, professionalism is everything. Hired to assist in the bitter bloody fighting on the planet hall, they quickly earn a decisive victory for their employer. They settle afterward in for a needed period of rebuilding and a few months' peace before moving on to the next contract. But the respite does not last. More mercenaries hired by the Allied Mercenary Company Command itself land on Hall. They believe the Tiger's employer to be in the league with the World of Blake, a shadowy interstellar organization that worships technology and which has been building its own empire among the worlds among Terra. The Tigers want nothing in this battle, but war rages across the inner sphere. The hard-fought ceasefire cannot last, even on Hall. When every faction is embittered and filled by fear, peace has no chance at all. As a new conflict erupts, will the stealthy Tigers' battle mechs be enough to save them, or will the looming threat of renewed war engulf them in its fiery embrace? So yeah, that is Embers of War. And I'll pass you on to what I'm drinking today. So, 1 second. Welcome back. This is Ravens Bullis to Battletech and Brews. Today we're doing a dropship drop. In the dropship shop, it is Rockstar Jaeger, and it's to simulate what happens when you drop from a dropship down to the ground in your battle mech. So here we go. We're gonna start with shot here. Got this. About halfway. I'm using a plastic cup because I don't want to ruin a glass cup. That would suck. So wait a second. So like you can see, it's like half. We'll probably might be a little too much. It's a little too much. You don't want to drink the whole can. So it's about halfway. Alright. So the stealthy tigers would say 68. 68 would mean that was the end of their contract. So 68. That's good shit. And I recommend only doing about 2 of these. You will get fucked up, and then you won't remember 68. Back to you. Alright, welcome back. So, that's what I'm drinking. So, in this book, this takes place on some back-ass water world where it's called Hall. It's not very, the name's just kind of like whatever. So, that's not the point. This is the first book, Jason Schelsmelster. I said that right, did it right? So, what happens is the stealthy tigers, they hot drop on the planet. And there's 2 factions. They're hired by the Baron. And then there's another faction fighting for control of the world. They hot drop, they kill the leader of this group. The remnants get all pissed off about it. And they think, okay, well, we're gonna be here on this planet. We're a security force now. What happens next is another group comes in, the AMC, because they're looking for World of Blake, and they come in, and at first they have like a liaison and everything's fine and stuff, and they're like, oh, okay, well, you know, the stealthy tigers are here, we won't interfere with you guys as long as you don't interfere with us. And then what ends up happening is they find a World of Blake connection. The World of Blake tries to put the stealthy tigers against the AMC. What ends up happening though, the Baron, after the World of Blake gets discovered, the Baron finds that he was working with the World of Blake, but he betrays them. So while the World of Blake is doing all these terrorist attacks, like attacking convoys and blowing up cafes. They get attacked because what happens is the Baron's like, all right, I'm bringing the world onto the Haskell Republic, which they'll protect us. So they bring in another group who lands on the planet. So you have the Baron, the Stealthy Tigers, and his forces on one side, versus the AMC and their remnants of the Force, whatever. So they're going at it, blah, blah, blah. And when they discover that the Stealthy Tigers discover there is a force within their own ranks that are part of the world of blank, it tears apart the regiment. So they end up infighting against each other while the not the Dragons, but the Rehouse Republic is down, and AMC is over there, and those guys are over there. It literally tears apart their unit so bad that the Baron gets killed, and so does the other person for the AMC contract. So it ends up happening because the contract expired by the death of their employer. They have to leave the planet. So the AMC failed in defeating the world of Blake, and the Stealthy Tigers failed their contract because their employer died. So the remnants of the AMC, with the guys that are still good, to the Stealthy Tigers, leave the planet in the hands of the world of Blake. And I think since the Republic loses. So it's a world of Blake planet. They find out on Outreach, which is the homeworld of Stealthy Tigers, and the Dragoons leader dies. So it ends up on a cliffhanger. Like, there's so many people fighting on this world. This world is not important at all, as far as like, there's no connection to any other worlds. Everyone's just fighting for its independence. It's a complete bloody mess. Like, there's so many people switching sides. It's crazy. So like I said, it ends on a cliffhanger. Stealthy Tigers are defeated. And then at the end of the book, there's a preview for another book called Shadows of Faith, which is like 2 chapters. What ends up happening though, the book never got published. I found out this book never comes out. It was supposed to come out last year, and they finished parts of it on the Battletech universe. But I did like this book. It is all over though, so it is kind of hard to follow. Like, there's chapters where you're at the Stealthy Tigers, there's chapters with the AMC, there's chapters with the world of Blake, so you're like bouncing around constantly. And usually Battletech does show the other sides what they're doing, but it's usually like the opposing side. But because there's so many factions in this book, it's just like, it's a little bit of a mess. It is one of the longer books in the series that just released. Oh yeah, here's the Chaos March. That's where it takes place. As far as, and Hall is, let's see, Hall's literally right here. I can't see that right there. And there's the Blake Protectorate. And let's see, where's the guys from? The Free Worlds, like those guys were coming over to Hall, which is like way the hell over here to stop the world of Blake. But yeah, it's a complete mess, and it starts the very end of the Federated Civil War that just ended, And oh yeah, at this point, I forgot to mention that Terra is already under control of the world of Blake. So, Terra, Earth. But yeah, this is Raven's Willis. I hope you enjoyed this episode, and I'll catch you all later on the battlefield in the fog for the next episode of Battletech and Brews. And I do apologize for... I have a party over here, and I have a party over there. I don't know why I'm not partying yet. So, catch you later. Bye.